Hello, professors and classmates. My name is Dominique Smith, and I'm really looking forward to presenting my capstone project proposal summary. This is my sixth semester here at Bellevue College, and I'm really looking forward to graduating in June. I'm a radiologic technologist, and I've been working in the field for 17 years. For the past 16 years, I've focused primarily on mammography and breast imaging. And I feel really fortunate because what I do does not feel like a job. It feels more like a calling. What makes me the most excited about this project is that I have an opportunity to inspire a new generation of technologists that will hopefully love the profession as much as I do. Diversity in the healthcare workforce has been proven to improve the overall level of cultural competence, promote innovation and creativity, and lead to better patient outcomes. The goal of my project is to increase diversity in the imaging sciences professions by raising awareness of vocational opportunities in underrepresented groups. The immediate focus of my capstone project is to develop a presentation to educate youth from minority populations, specifically high schoolers, on the imaging sciences professions. The target audience of the presentation will be students enrolled in health occupations courses and AVID, which is Advancement via Individual Determination programs, at high schools in the greater Seattle area. According to the American Society of Radiologic Technologists, the field of radiologic technology is one of the least culturally diverse workforces among healthcare professionals. In fact, according to their statistics, for every 20 technologists, only 3 will identify as a race other than white. The reality is that race, ethnicity, and culture frame our experiences in every facet of life. As an African American woman in the profession, I have at times felt isolated, alone, and excluded. This feeling of isolation has actually increased since I began pursuing opportunities in imaging leadership. The lack of diversity has made me feel that my race and gender are potentially going to be barriers to reaching my goals. I am determined to use my platform to potentially ease the way for newer technologists that want to get into the field and to eventually get into management. I actually fell into this profession when I took a part-time job working at a local community hospital, assisting the radiology manager with a special project to categorize and prepare old radiology films for permanent storage at an outside facility. At the time, I was young, a single parent of 2 children, and really trying to figure out a career path that would allow me to support my family while meeting my intrinsic passion for helping others. My situation at the time was dire, and it wasn't realistic that I can invest an extended period of time, 4 years or more, attending college full time. Considering I had my first child in high school, this would have been a career option I wished I knew about and pursued even earlier. Developing a strategy has been a critical first step to ensuring the goals and objectives of my project will be accomplished. Another initial step in implementing the Imaging Sciences Professions Vocational Awareness Program was to gain institutional support. With the assistance of my mentor, Lisa Martino, a list of key stakeholders from the Imaging Services Department and the Office of Health Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion was created. Each of the stakeholders was contacted to discuss my project proposal and to gather feedback. This was essential to developing a program that will truly meet the needs of the organization and be well supported. Once the appropriate authorities officially approved the project, I began conducting online research to create a database and points of contact in AVID programs and health occupation programs at local high schools in the greater Seattle area. Additionally, I conducted research on the demographics and racial makeup of the high schools in Seattle proper. The goal of this research was to determine schools that had higher levels of racial diversity and offered health occupations courses. I created a formal document outlining the objectives of the presentation and detailing the planned content for the presentation. Through the inquiry process, I will be able to gather information about the preferred presentation method. Due to the pandemic restrictions, in-person presentations might not be an option, and there just may be limited options for presenting in person. There may be very specific requirements for on-campus visitors as well. Once the location, date, and method of presentation have been determined, then I'll work on developing the actual presentation. The research for this project is going to be ongoing on a variety of topics to ensure the success of this project. The majority of the research that I've conducted and will continue to conduct is going to be focused on the efficacy of vocational awareness programs and increasing diversity in healthcare settings. To truly be a champion of this new program and garner support, I need to be able to speak confidently about the value of this program for the community, my organization, and the profession as a whole. A survey will be created for the presentation audience to assess their level of awareness of the profession before the presentation, gather feedback on the presentation, and determine if they have an interest in a more in-depth exploration of the profession. I will be conducting additional research on creating meaningful surveys. Many of the courses that I've taken so far at Bellevue College have provided a wide range of knowledge that's going to be very applicable to this project. For instance, in my intercultural health communication course, we really delved into the impact of implicit bias on perpetuation of health disparities, as well as components of cultural competence. In my health resources management and healthcare course, we delved into workforce diversity, gained an understanding of recruitment, selection, and retention, as well as the key components of strategic human resources management. In my organizational theory and behavioral course, I gained an understanding of performance improvement through cultural change. My project management course provided me essential skills that are going to be very necessary for staying on track for this project, creating deadlines, and creating a strategy plan. Essentials of Imaging and Therapy provided an overview of the various modalities in radiology and the radiation field. Obviously, I'm most aware and knowledgeable specifically about general X-ray or radiologic technology, as well as breast imaging. But for my presentation, I want to make sure that students are aware of all the various modalities, such as CT, MRI, nuclear medicine, and radiation therapy. And so having that overview of those modalities in the RAIM 301 class will be very helpful. I see this capstone project as a foundational step in the development of a full spectrum mentorship program. The eventual expansion will be supported through a partnership with the Swedish Health Services Office of Health Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, practicing imaging professionals, local high schools, and local colleges. The full spectrum mentorship program will pair interested students with a designated mentor who would be available to help the student continue to explore the imaging sciences professions and provide guidance and knowledge about the education and training required. Thank you.